Alright, 5.8, intervals. Here's example 1. And rewind and check the solution. Here's number 2. And off we go to rhythm. Again, you can rewind and check your solution. Rhythm. We have 6/8 time. We'll take the first example. We've been studying groups of 5s, but also these other irregular divisions. Try to think of irregular divisions as divisions, normal music that would make sense in the 2/4 time. One and a 2 and. I'll play it again. 1 and a 2 and. Okay, and rewind and check. Next, we have a melody. Okay, this one's in 6/4. This one is very vocal-like in its character. Now, one thing we got to remember is that chromatic alterations go in the direction of the alterations. So sharps are going to go up and flats are going to go down when it comes to melodic writing. At least we attempt to make this happen. The guide notes are extremely important for this one. The key is B flat major, and there's very little strong presence of B flat. Despite that, the dotted half note in this case is going to equal 54. All right, so I don't believe we've done one in 6/4 for a while. So, you know, our common rhythms that we see, you know, these, this, so be on the lookout for groupings. All right, here we are. 54 is one and 2. I'll play it again. 1 and a 2 and rewind it and listen to it maybe 4, 5, 6 more times and work through it interval by interval. A group of 2, okay, remember that the whole beat is a half note. And so when you heard the group of 2 in measure number 2, that's going to turn out to be either a pair of quarter notes with a 2 or a pair of quarter notes with 2 dots, because that is the equivalent of 6, 3 plus 3 eighth notes, so we can do it this way. And then of course you could always use the duplet version of it. And it's on to harmony. Again, we'll go directly to four-part harmony. Okay, so we've worked on the approach to the Neapolitan chord as being a possible 2-chord in first inversion. Okay, the approach to N6. How do we get to N6? Well, 2 in first inversion. Well, why is that? Well, 2 in first inversion is a B-flat major chord in 2 in first inversion is a D minor chord in C major, or D, F, A, as you would have it. Okay, and then we would spell that F, A, D probably. But then to turn a 2 chord into an N6, you're going to have 2 alterations, A flat and D flat. The other thing we notice about the N6 chord is that you're going to hear a diminished third somewhere in the chord, and that is the typical way that these things are used, is just to go to the dominant. Okay, so the progression 2-6 evolves into N6, and then off we go to 5. So if we spell the 5 chord GBD, okay, that's where that diminished third is. It's going to be between D flat and B. All right. The dominant, of course, could have a 7th, a 9th, an 11th, 13th, and so forth. Here's your progression. Okay, so we heard do, fa, and we expect 2 because that's what we're expecting. But when 2 arrives, what did we notice about the chord? It had another note in it. So 2-6-5 is another way that we can prepare our Neapolitan chord, and then in this case it went off to 5-7 and to 1. I'll write out the rest of the notation in the solution. Let's try another one. Let's try this one. I'm going to put the 5th of the chord in the soprano. So that bass line was much simpler than some of the other ones we've done. It went down a third to the expected note to prepare a French chord. Okay. Now when we look at that note, we did not hear 4 like we have in the other examples. Rather, we heard this chord. So if we think about other possible chords that might prepare a French chord, all right, the other chords that might prepare a French chord could also include 2 in 6/4 position, or 2 in 4/3 position. Okay, so that would be a non-dominant 7th chord version of it, or D minor 7, D, F, A, and C. So we can see that A is another bass line note that we can choose to prepare an A flat. So that's another kind of sound we should be aware of. So if I play that chord one more time, just to kind of review here, and when you see the voice leading worked out, it actually works out really well to do it this way. And then I went just directly to the dominant as a major triad for a change. So, 2 progressions here today in a major key, which involved preparation of the Neapolitan chord and then preparation of an augmented 6th chord using a new chord. So it doesn't have to be 4. It could have a 7th factor.